So Joshua and the Israelites have crossed over the Jordan. What a wonderful story that is. And now they're in Canaan, the promised land. I want to say something about this as I introduce the message. Canaan isn't heaven. It's a symbol of the kingdom. If it was heaven, there'd be no warfare in the promised land. But there is warfare. Therefore, it's where the kingdom activity is pressing in against the opposition. And it's as we are today. We are the people of the kingdom. The kingdom's the already, but the not yet. The kingdom is here. It will fully be here when Jesus turns. In the meantime, we are to occupy till he comes. And we are pressing forth. We are advancing the kingdom against the enemy of God. This is what it's about. And so in this story, we see something of what we are to be about in terms of serving the purposes of God in our generation, and see the kingdom advance, that we will take territory personally and corporately, and we will advance into the things that God has for us. And we make no mistake about it, the enemy will resist us. That's his job's a spoiling operation. That's all he's got. Sometimes he does it quite well when we get caught on the blind side. And so Joshua has now come across and he's in. But there's already opposition. He's now facing a walled city called Jericho. And Jericho is a hard city to break down. And he's gone out on a reconnaissance mission, and he is now viewing the wall of Jericho. You know what I have discovered, and I think this would have been true of Joshua, the longer you look at the wall, the bigger it gets. The longer you look at the wall, whatever your Jericho is, whatever your problem is, the longer you look at it, the bigger it's going to get. And the problem is that we are looking at the problem and not looking at the provision. We're looking at the problem and we're not looking at the provider. And so in the midst of this situation, the captain of the Lord's army, the commander of the Lord's army, comes and stands between Joshua and the wall. Now, I want to just say this, I believe this is a theophany or a pre-incarnate visitation of Jesus, because Joshua fell down and worshipped. If it had been an angel, the angel would not have allowed him to worship him. So I believe this was Jesus, a theophany, a pre-incarnate vision, and so he falls down. Now, I want to say to you that Jesus wants to get between you and your problem. Amen. He wants to be the biggest thing in your vision. And what you need to do and what I need to do and what we need to do is the first thing that Joshua does is, if we're going to break through, we need to break through worshiping. He falls on his face in worship to the Lord. And the first thing is that we need to do, if we're going to break through in worship, is we need to focus on Jesus. He is the one we need to be preoccupied.